Smile.
Smile, right? We're going to smile all the time. How do you do this? Who likes to smile all the time? Okay? Some of you do. Some of you I've met before, and you have been, John, you just smile, smile, smile. Aisha, smile, smile, smile. Okay, how many people do you meet that aren't smiling all day long? Quite a bunch. When you walk into a meeting where there's a varying level of management or titles, you know, there's 10 people in a room. How many are they all smiling? Probably not. Okay, but what can you do?
Smile out.
You can smile. Now, if I smile, versus not smiling, do you feel different? Yeah, okay, again, that emotional connection is really there very fast. And the critical piece, and don't, please, this is, when I was practicing interrogation, I knew right away, based on unauthentic smiles, that I was going to have a rough road ahead because the unauthentic smile tells so many different things. Okay, and I would have to work harder to get to authenticity, to get to honesty. And as an interrogator, my whole job was simply to get to honesty, to find out what the truth was and remove all the distractions and find out what actually happened to whatever the situation was. But the unauthentic smile was simply a blockade, it was a facade of the other person that didn't want to tell me something. Therefore, I had to go through and get to the truth, I had to get around those hurdles. So unauthentic smiles, how many people have you seen with an unauthentic smile in a
The whole
meeting?
state of California.
Watch any news channel, any news program on TV, right? And watch the person answering the question. And we teach, when we do all the other workshops, we teach about smile, the timing, God bless you, timing, and we call it sequencing, and the smile connected to something else. And there's all types of different scenarios to watch for. But you, remember, today's about you. How can you portray yourself and be beneficial? How can you have benefit tomorrow in what you do? Just smile more, okay?
And if I can add something, the inauthentic smile, obviously, it's not something you want to rehearse. But I will say this: they've done research where they've looked at the physiological responses you have, even for fake smiles, right? And even for fake smiles, they find very similar patterns of physiological response throughout your body. So you're creating somewhat happiness, just not to the level when it's authentic. But that also tells you something about what practicing and what using smiles, even when you may not feel like smiling, does, right? It creates a process within yourself where you're changing that conversation, you're changing that experience, and you're changing what comes of that experience. I'm not saying go out and give people fake smiles, but I'm saying, you know, especially when people tell me, well, I feel down all the time, or I struggle with this, well, how many times are you actually trying to change that? Are you doing something physiologically, intentionally, where you're changing the conversation within yourself and through your expression that people see that you're doing something differently? And so when we talk about smiling, and I know this is one of the rules of engagement we're talking about, it takes a lot more practice than you could ever imagine. I've so many people I've worked with, it's like, okay, you really have to go out and try. Gas station, grocery store, shopping store, shopping center, anywhere you go, it's really practicing implementing a smile when you go and you interact with people, and then cataloging what is that change like. What did you experience? How did the person respond? How did you feel? And really making note of all those things, because again, what are you doing? You're creating memories, you're creating thoughts that are then going to control the next behavior that you do, which then what? It's going to create your experience and your new thought and your new memory and your new emotion, and it's a cycle. And so we're talking about small things, we're talking about intricate little things, we're talking about practicing something, but it actually plays into the bigger picture of what we're talking about.
So part of the class, part of the homework for smiling simply is looking at yourself in the mirror and try smiling 30 times in the morning. And, while you're brushing your teeth, or after you brush your teeth, smile 30 times. And what happens is you start out going, and after 30 or 40 or 50 times of smiling at yourself, you start to laugh. You get comical. You become your own caricature. And that drives positive chemicals in your brain, your dopamine and the oxytocin, and different things happen in your own brain that make smiling fun. And you become a smiler. To Todd's point, I smiled 13 times this morning on the way in. King Super, Einstein's, I smiled at somebody in the car next to me. I smiled at somebody crossing the road. I smiled. Did I have to smile? No. It was my choice. And because I love smiling now, think of me, I'm the smiling interrogator. I was not always a smiler, so it is possible. Practice makes perfect. And smiling is the easiest and number one thing we can all do, simply to have that best first impression. Okay. What do you think rule number 2 is?